What or who inspired you or brought you to come to Pacific Coast Horseshoeing School?
Uh, well, I've been living in Boston for a couple of years working with horses, and it was the first job opportunity that I had that just didn't feel like work, and it was something I really enjoyed. I mean, I've had this conversation before with a lot of people, and I think I was just ready for the next step, working with horses, working with animals, and also trying to sort of work my way up in the world, making more money, and just I don't know. This is the option that seemed the most interesting to myself, I guess. So
So, what were you doing before? What sort of work were you doing before? Back
I
east?
worked for a family that owned probably about 15 or 16 horses outside of the city of Boston, and at the time I was just new to horses in general, just learning how to groom them, exercising them, lunging them, taking care of the property, just kind of basic farmhand stuff that. Um, and just working with just a couple guys trying to just learn as much as I could about horses at the time.
Well, here we are on graduation day. What is your overall impression of the school and the program you've just completed?
Sure. I mean, I think in the beginning it was kind of a shock. I was like, what did I get myself into? Just because I don't have much experience working. At the time, I hadn't had much experience working with any sort of metal, hammers, anything like that. And so it was kind of a shock. But it was one of those things where I learned that although we came in, a lot of us at different skill levels, that if you put in as much as you possibly can and really, really work hard, that it gets easier. And it's always hard work, but at the same time, you learn a ton. And if you, I guess I'm speaking for myself, but then if you have some sort of positive attitude, that I don't know, it's just worth it. The work is always worth it, the long hours. And I'm looking back on it now, just really, really thankful for the experience. In 2 short months, having learned all that I possibly have, and having no regrets about it at all.
That's awesome.
It's been kind of a great experience. Yeah, sure.
That's awesome. So, I mean, you said it's difficult. It's hard work at times. Well, not
Yeah,
just at times. This is a difficult profession as far as being hard on your body and you're
sure.
mentally fatiguing. In the program and when you're shoeing a horse, what or who kind of keeps you going and helped you along the way so that you didn't quit and just became a success?
Yeah. Well, I think in our class in particular, it was just the group of guys that I was with, and then also Bob and Sam and John, the instructors. They're all really, really encouraging, and I think we all kind of came together, I think, very, very quickly in the class. And like I said, although we were sort of all different backgrounds, it became apparent that um, everybody wanted everybody to do as well as they could, and I think we all, whether it was shoeing or making shoes or the tests, we all kind of came together. And so it was, as cliche and as kind of corny as it sounds, it was a big family, and that's the environment here. You get with a great group of people, and it makes a big difference for the experience here for sure.
It really does. It
Yeah.
really does. You don't get that much in academia, do you?
No, I don't think so. I think that's the difference. I mean, I've been to 3 different colleges, and I think I actually felt like a person here rather than a number or like a just you get the attention that you need, and it's nice. You don't feel drowned out by so many people. There's just like a really personal element to it, which I really enjoyed.
How awesome.
Yeah.
How awesome. So what are your plans after graduation? What, goals do you have? Are you looking into apprenticeships? Are there any specialties of shoeing that you kind of like to get into someday? What are your plans?
Well, I had an apprenticeship opportunity, and it lasted up until about Monday this week and fell through, which is it's okay. I mean, that
Roll with the punches.
yeah, sure. I think that's what I originally thought I needed to do to get as much experience as possible, and I still think so to a degree. And so I'm considering that, finding other people, but also at the same time, just having the confidence to know that what I learned here is enough to be able to start my own business if I choose to, and it's just a matter of just kind of taking that leap. And so I'm considering doing both. Now, I'll be here at the school for a little while, just kind of honing my skills and also looking for jobs, but also making business cards and getting out in the world and getting more experience on my own. So,
Fantastic.
yeah,
Good, good. I know you'll do well. I know you do well.
sure.
Well, the biggest takeaway, from attending Pacific Coast Horseshoeing School? What would you say that is?
Um,
Besides learning how to shoe a horse.
right. I mean, a lot of it has to do. This occupation has a lot to do with just really working hard and having a lot of just allowing yourself to have some sort of confidence in your job, like knowing that the skills that you learn here at the school. It might seem like it's a lot jammed into 2 months, but I visited other schools that were 9 months, 2 years long, and I think I made the right decision because of the fact that the basics are here enough, and you get enough repetition to know that like this is the time here at the school is enough to go out into the world and further your education, but also to go out and actually make money and start your own business. And I don't know if I expected that, starting out here. I think I was like, 2 months, I'll see if I like it or not. But you learn that pretty quickly. I think as the weeks go on, whether you're taking the tests through anatomy or just any of the tests and shoeing and just all the components, you realize that like it might take you a long time to start out with, but at the same time, you have all the tools necessary in the 2 months you're here at the school to go out into the world and apply them and be the best that you can be. And that's enough. That's all it takes, and then the rest is just confidence and taking that leap. And for me, that's what this next experience is about: just taking that leap and knowing that I can do it.
Absolutely.
So,
Yeah, well, we all know you can. You've got your great foundation.
sure.
Run with it.
Yeah,
Run with
definitely
it.
worth it here.
So, what advice would you give to someone contemplating coming to Pacific Coast Horseshoeing School, or even, making a career change, or, coming all the way out here? I mean, you're from back east, so
Sure.
what advice would you give to them?
Yeah, I think it's the big thing is whether it's you have to come here and you've committed to it and you're gonna, it's a plan and you're not from around here, then I'd say just in the first couple of weeks, just give it all you have, and I think that just see it through for just a little while to see if it's worth it for you, and then for someone who's around here, come check out the school. The instructors are great; they'll talk to you, and for me, I came across the country from Pennsylvania, and I had visited 4 other schools before I got here, and I think just being here alone and getting the feel for the tight-knit sort of community, whether through the instructors or also the classmates, you just get a feel for the school. And I think just immersing yourself as much as possible before deciding whether it's for you or not. I think whether that's done in the first week you go to school here or coming to visit, I think that totally made my education here. I had already visited the school before I actually signed up, and had a start date, but also at the same time, I was feeling a certain way after the first day, and knowing that, sort of putting that aside, and let's see where I am after the first week, and I can make a decision there. And I'd say for anybody that wants to change careers or is considering the school, that's the most important thing. Sort of put aside your initial fear and emotions, and just sort of immerse yourself into it and see how you feel after a little while. And the school here, the great thing I liked about this school was just because you had a week to decide, and so you can see where you are after a week, whereas a lot of the other places you put all the money up front and you're committed to it, and so you can make a kind of commitment to yourself early in a week just to give it the best shot you have, and then also you can show up if you're from around here, or even in my case, to just to see what it's like before you go here. And the combination of those two things together, it's enough to make you realize like this is what I want to do or not, and I think especially in my case.
Regardless, you have to give things a go.
Yes, I think that's the most important thing you'll take out of going to horseshoeing school. Is like if you don't put in the time and you don't actually just give it what it deserves in the first few weeks, then you'll never see your own true potential, and you'll never actually see if it's what you want to do. So
That's a great parting thought. Well,
Yeah,
best of
yeah.
luck to you.
yeah,
Thank you,
thank
Chris.
you very much.